Tonight on Road Madness, yellow lines? What yellow lines? We catch drivers' dangerous moves when they shouldn't be passing at all.
Jesus Christ!
What are our bus drivers doing running red lights? And undertaking can be just as dangerous as overtaking. Cameras mounted in trucks travel the country catching dangerous driving, near fatalities and tragic crashes. And cameras at intersections and train crossings reveal shocking driving behaviour that costs Kiwis their lives. Some of it's hard to believe, some of it's laughable, and some is just plain crazy. Welcome to Road Madness. G'day, I'm Ewen Gilmour. Using the latest in vehicle drive cam technology, real truck drivers simply hit the camera to start filming the mayhem that happens in front of them every day on our roads. Now, anybody with a licence should know the answer to this question. What do solid yellow lines on the road mean? No passing. Well, somebody forgot to tell these turkeys. There's the yellow lines, it's a blind corner, and here comes an idiot. In slow-mo, look at how close that car comes to hitting the oncoming car. That can't be more than 5 metres between them. Same story here. Yellow lines, cue the idiot. Clearly the other driver was worried because he'd flicked his lights to high beam to alert the other driver that he was there. That was close. And again on solid yellow lines.
Jesus Christ!
It's not a great camera view, however you can see it's a high-speed sandwich. On one side the truck, on the other oncoming traffic, and in between the overtaker. You wouldn't think that overtaking would be that hard, would you? But some people continually make a mess of it. The truck is nearly onto the expressway when... The car is pulled out over double yellow lines and cut the truck off. Good one. And it's the same story here. Look how small the car is. Why take the risk? Here, a cheeky motorist uses their turning lane to overtake on a corner and only just gets back in before 3 cars come around that corner. And here, 2 trucks are making their way uphill. There's a yellow line because there's no way to see over the brow of the hill. He only gets past 1 vehicle. What was the point? But not all truckies let it go with just a burst of the truck horn.
Oh, look at that!
He's radioed ahead to alert the other driver and shouts out instructions.
Oh, get that place!
Truckies often record the number plates of dangerous drivers and report them to the police. And they've got the camera footage to back them up.
Here we go, here's the head on.
Here the overtaker is squeezing back into the left-hand lane when the truckie blasts him with full beam to get his rego number. You think that driver was crazy? Take a look at this. The truck in front is heading into a blind corner when a car appears around the corner. The truck driver has to hit the brakes and pull into the shoulder, or else he would have been staring at a head-on crash. In this incident, and the 2 previous clips, if the truck drivers hadn't have taken evasive action, the overtaking vehicles would have hit oncoming traffic. For our truck driving expert, Steve Mitchell, being alert to these kind of dangers is a key part of the job.
The truck drivers had to take evasive action. Now that was all very well for the car because he completed that manoeuvre, but the truck driver, there was a possibility that he could have gone off the road into the culvert and caused a massive accident. But people need to realise, by that truck driver taking evasive action, he's putting his own life at risk.
Madness, and it isn't over yet. These next videos show how dangerous it can be to be driving fast on wet roads. Imagine being in the middle of this mayhem. It's night and a truck approaches a corner when suddenly a car loses control and spins out across the road in front of the truck. Looking at that again, not only is the out-of-control car a big worry, the following car is also veering across the centre line towards the oncoming truck. Perhaps the driver behind was following the front car's tail lights and didn't notice he was drifting across the road. It might be raining in the following video, but the driver can't blame what happens on the weather. The truck approaches a blind corner and surprise. Now that was a tight one. The road is narrow, the truck has nowhere to go, and the blue car comes so close to hitting the red car as it tries to get back on the right side of the road. Lucky. Speaking of lucky escapes in the wet, get a load of this next clip. It is hard to believe that no one was killed. It's raining and the road is slippery and wet when this black ute loses control. Let's take a look at what happened. It's a gentle curve, but somehow the driver of the black ute loses control and crosses the centre line. The truck driver sees what's happening and tries in vain to pull over to his left, but the car keeps coming. The impact is so fierce that it forces the truck bonnet up, and then the truck veers into the bank. After the break, what's the opposite of overtaking? And an emergency rescue team faces its own emergency.
Hold on!
And would you like the chance to win your very own drive cam, to record video evidence in case you're ever involved in an accident, or to report an incident to the police? Well, here's your chance. Keep watching Road Madness, and at the end of the show, answer a simple question and you'll go in the draw to win your own drive cam. Welcome back to Road Madness. It's time now for our neck minute moment. That's when something that looks straightforward suddenly goes wrong. It's just outside Christchurch and this truck is making its way into the city. Neck minute. Keep an eye on the left. Yep, there he goes, passing on the inside. He's not even on the road. He's got learner plates and could be riding for a fall if someone decides to turn left or pull over. It's madness. Listen to the truck driver.
On learner plates, that's a great way to be a learner.
These next videos show how some drivers view the road as a racetrack. They have to get in front of other drivers no matter what. Look out for the blue car here. As two lanes merge into one, boom, straight up the inside. That's a terrible example of what we're calling undertaking. And the driver could be seen in undertaker if he or she doesn't stop driving like a maniac. You've got to wonder, what was the driver thinking? There's no use of indicators, he's made an illegal manoeuvre, and he's just lucky the van didn't pull back into the left lane, pushing him off the road. Look at what's going on here at this motorway on-ramp. The car on the left is making sure that the car overtaking can't possibly merge. Okay, so the driver of the overtaking car was being an idiot, but that doesn't mean the other driver has to be one as well. This next situation is another bad example of merging. Look at that. The driver is in such a rush to get in front of the truck that he risks undertaking in a lane that's not meant for moving vehicles. It's crazy. Now for a classic example of undertaking. Keep your eyes out for the car on the left, and it leaves the truckie a little confused.
How did that come from?
Even motorbikes get in on the action. Look at that. That is a very dangerous manoeuvre on a motorbike. The truck driver wouldn't have been expecting anyone to pass on the inside.
It's something that happens all the time with scooter drivers. For some reason they think that the line between the side of the road and the edge of the road is their own little lane that they're driving. And the problem with it is they're always on our blind spot. They're on the left-hand side of the truck. You can't see them when they're sitting down here by your door. And it's probably the reason why so many of them get knocked off their bikes.
And here's another undertaker. That's the edge of the road he's using as a passing lane. Notice the road verge isn't sealed and his left-hand wheels are either in the gravel or very close to it.
The car that overtook on the left, I mean, that's just an idiotic manoeuvre. If he'd lost control on the gravel there, he would have spun out and probably caused an accident.
Now, truck cameras aren't just a Kiwi thing. We also have cameras in trucks in Australia and trucks in the USA. So we're bringing you some cases of global road madness featuring emergency workers. In this video, American ambulance crews' driving skills are put to the test. You can see here that most of the motorists have slowed down or stopped, but not this grey pickup truck which turns directly into the path of the ambulance.
Hold on!
The driver gets out quickly as the crashed ambulance starts smoking.
Hold on!
That ambulance must have been flying along as it takes a long time to come to a smoking halt, wiping out trees, signs and lampposts in the process. In all the excitement, the one thing you might not have noticed is the size of that flag. It's got to stretch over 3 lanes of traffic. It's one thing to be patriotic, but it's almost a risk to low-flying planes and a dangerous distraction to motorists. Staying with emergency vehicles, these next 2 clips illustrate the teamwork that goes into driving a rescue vehicle at high speed. The conditions aren't great. It's raining and this fire appliance is racing to answer an emergency call as it approaches an intersection. Listen to the co-driver. The driver sees the car and manages to brake, locking up the wheels but controlling the appliance and getting around the car. No easy feat when you consider a fire engine full of water can weigh up to 20 tonne. These 2 ambulance officers are caught in traffic. One is driving, the other is acting as a lookout to his left and operating the horn and siren. Listen to what they're saying.
Not clear. Not yet. Now you're clear. He had one more. Oh, whoa! Shit. Holy. That's cool. That was close.
Let's see that again. So what happened here is the driver thought his side was clear but didn't check again after getting the all clear from his buddy on the left. The driver should have looked for the other vehicle coming from his left. A narrow escape.
Oh, whoa! Shit. Holy. That's cool. That was close.
We're back in New Zealand and we've got some clips where the truck drivers are just witnessing the mayhem that's happening right in front of them. The blue car legitimately passes the truck, but decides to stay on that side of the road even though there's a passing lane approaching. But then another car decides to cross the yellow lines in order to pass, and obviously he hasn't seen the car coming up his backside. Now that was close. You can see a puff of dust as the driver of the blue car hits the gravel verge on the far side. He was damn lucky not to have lost control of his car. Here the broken white line's been passing is allowed, but the drivers of both cars are guilty of not watching what the other vehicles are doing.
Oh! You didn't look!
Now we've all seen them at intersections. Drivers putting their lives at risk and others by running a red light. The stats don't lie. Research shows that red light runners make up to 20% of all the crashes at intersections that have lights. And of that, 45% of the people involved will be hurt. This next footage is taken from red light cameras and shows a complete disregard for the road rules. And what's worse, some of these people breaking the law are professionals that should know better. Bus drivers. This first clip shows a car preparing to stop on a yellow light, while the bus, on the other hand, increases speed and ends up crashing the red light. Of course, the bus following does the right thing. Same story here, although there's much more time to stop, but that doesn't matter to this bus driver, as he enters the intersection when the light is clearly red. Look at that again. He's not even in the frame when it turns orange, and it's already turned red when the bus enters the intersection. And again, other vehicles manage to stop, but the bus winds up and goes through a red light. Imagine the carnage if one of those buses had taken out a car, or even worse, been hit by a truck. Look, a yellow light means stop if you can do so safely. And these next lunatics definitely could have. You can see the lights have turned yellow, then red. And that's the cue for this SUV to try and race across without causing an accident. This taxi on the left stops for the yellow light while the motorcycle sails on past through a red light and into the danger zone. But that's nothing compared to what happens here. The lights are already red and cars are crossing from the opposite side of the intersection when straight through. Let's look at that again. The driver makes no attempt to stop. There's no flash of brake lights and the car doesn't appear to slow down in any way. In fact, looking at that incident, it's easy to believe that the red car didn't even notice it was at an intersection. It pays to be alert or you could get hit in the pocket. The fine for running a red light is $150 and 20 demerit points. But if anybody is injured or killed, you could be facing 5 years in jail, a $20,000 fine and loss of licence. We'll take a break now, but we'll leave you to ponder this next video, which we've called The Bank Robber. And you'll understand why when you see what happens next. The truck approaches an intersection where the lights are red, when suddenly a car skids across in front. After the break, what happens next will amaze you. And yellow lines. What yellow lines? We catch drivers' dangerous moves when they shouldn't be passing at all. When we left you, a car was racing to a free turn and cutting across 3 lanes to get there. So, what happened next? As the truck approaches the intersection to stop, you can hear a car wheel spin and then it rockets in front of the truck. But look at what he does next. That is one crazy driver. He's cut across in front of the truck, straight through a giveaway, across 2 lanes without slowing down at all, and then straight through another giveaway. You can see why we called that clip The Bank Robber. He was driving that car like it was a getaway vehicle. I wonder what his rush was. This clip shows somebody else in a rush. Solid yellow lines in a blind corner won't stop this guy. As you can see, there is no way this driver could possibly see if there was anyone coming the other way. Madness. And this driver doesn't seem in any rush to get into the creek lane. It's only when another car approaches that they finally pull over. And then there's drivers like this, racing each other even when it's unsafe to do so. The lines are yellow. Remember guys, it is pretty simple. Yellow line, no passing. But that doesn't stop this idiot. It's night time and visibility is poor. But not only does he cross the double yellow lines, he's speeding and overtaking at an intersection. He's insane. Do these people have a death wish? Or have they just played that many computer games that they don't realise people get hurt or die when they hit something?
Here comes the first one. Look at this, eh?
The truck approaches a blind bend going uphill, and right on cue, a car passes without any ability to see what's coming around the corner. It's the same story here.
Oh, look at this.
There's 4 trucks going uphill towards a bend, and the car is looking to take them all on. He gets past the first 2 before another vehicle is seen coming down the opposite side. Luckily, the driver sees it and pulls into the correct lane. This last manoeuvre, it really takes the cake. It's snowing, the roads are icy, and that's a yellow line. But the driver of this van thinks it's okay to pass, even with another car coming the other way. More madness. A little known fact about those aids for driving in icy conditions, snow chains. In 1908, Harry Houdini was almost strangled when he participated in a promotional stunt to escape from a set of snow chains. We showed you a clip last week on how to annoy a truck driver. Well, here's some other ways that you can get on the wrong side of them. Not indicating will do it every time, as this motorist found out.
You stupid!
That's telling him. Pulling out at a roundabout is another surefire way to rack up a truckie. or at intersections. Check out the vehicle on the left. Good thing the truck driver is able to stop. That could have been a big wipeout with the SUV also pulling the trailer. Even the poor old lollipop man isn't immune to this truckie's charms.
Back up, you. Mind you, the moron.
He stops the truck, but he hasn't changed his sign, so gets an earful.
Back up, you. Mind you, the moron.
No one can accuse our truck drivers of not being able to express their feelings, and you have to admire their ability to be able to do it with just a few key words, like our next truck driver. Keep an eye out for the expletive counter.
Holy yeah, stupid We're on a motorbike. Passed me on yellow lines.
That's 7 bleeps in just under 10 seconds. Right, now's your chance to win your very own drive cam supplied by in-vehicle camera systems. And you too can be part of Road Madness. Simply text us the answer to this question and go in the draw to win. Earlier, we asked, what happened next in this video? The truck approaches an intersection where the lights are red when suddenly a car skids across in front, gunning for the free turn. So, what was our nickname for this act of stupidity? Was it A, Crazy Man, B, the bank robber, or C, late for dinner? Text either A, B or C to the number you see below for your chance to win your very own drive cam. And I'll see you next week for more Road Madness. Next week on Road Madness, look at the chaos caused by bad driving. Look at what happens when a driver gets distracted. And what's going on in this picture that's mad, mad, mad.